Hello and welcome to the tower. Here we are, another Sunday to speak about future technologies and how you will experience the next generation of technological things and gadgets in the next years. Today we are going to speak about total gamification. So, total gamification when your life is a game. Before speaking about this topic, remember to subscribe to the tower if you are not a member yet. It's totally free and you will have access to all the next videos and you will receive notifications to watch videos live. Now we are at 4 minutes past 2 in New York. It's 4 minutes past 8 in Central Europe, 7 4 in the UK and 11:4 in the Pacific coast. So anywhere where you are watching this video, or maybe if you are watching it after the live event, please subscribe and click on the like button so we can get more diffusion for this interesting topic. Gamification, total gamification when your life is a game. So, what is this topic about in the tower and why are we speaking about that? Let me go through the first slide. What is gamification? Well, gamification is a concept that comes obviously from game, and it means that you use a game to perform some business processes or to experience, to make customers or users experience a service like a game. So, for example, when you are invited to a contest to win discounts in the supermarket, this is a gamification of a discount. When you are in your office, there are some rules to get the best results, the best score of the best employee of the month, and there are some challenges and there are some incentives in your team to be the first. This is a game also, so this is gamification. So gamification has been here for a long time, and in the present, gamification is becoming more popular in all aspects of our life. So you are currently playing a lot of games in your daily life, and maybe you are not conscious about that. You have a credit score in the banking system, so this is a game. You have to win points to increase your financial score, to get more credit in your credit card, to get a mortgage, to have access to special banking or financial services, or open a specific bank account. So this is a game. The banking system has become a game in that sense. But also, as I said before, in the office, you have also an employment score. So your professional accomplishments are measured like a game. So you win points, you lose points, you get better score, they give you a score, your manager gives you a score, HR assigns you in a category, so you have access to some services or not. If you are older than 6 months or 1 year in your company, you may have access to a pension fund or whatever. This is a game also. But it's not only in these two sectors. Also, when you are speaking about customer loyalty programs, you are also playing a game. You you can earn points. For example, in airlines, you have miles, you earn miles each time you purchase a flight ticket. But it's not only there. If you go to the supermarket, if you go to your favorite shop, they give you points. Maybe they sell you a card with stamps. They put stamps on a card, and when you achieve a number of stamps, you have a gift, or you have a butcher, whatever. And in many customer loyalty programs, there is gamification as well. But also, if we think out of the box, the police department also are a game in some sense. For example, not only the police department, the government, governmental institutions, not only the police, have implemented games. For example, your criminal record, you can lose or you can win depending on your behavior in society. But for example, in driving, in your driving license, you can earn or you can lose points if you make any infraction, or if you don't have any accident for a period, etc., etc. So there are many games that you're playing now in the current society, in your environment, in your daily life, and maybe you don't know they are games, but they are exactly games. They are, as I said before, there are goals, there are rules, there are challenges, and there are incentives. So it's totally a game under this definition. Then, sorry, because I have just realized that my picture was shadowing the definition of a game. But again, what is important here, and why we are speaking now from the tower to all of you about gamification, is what is coming next. And what is coming next is something that may be surprising. So, the games you are about to play, what are the new games that you will start playing in your social environment in the next months and in the next years, for sure, in the mid-term, but also in the short term? The first one is the environmental impact score. It's not called that way formally, okay? So you will find it many different forms. For example, your house may have an emission score, so an emission category. So it's category A, B, C, D, E, F, depending on how much isolated is your home to save energy, for example. That's a game. So you put better windows in your house, you get a better score. You change the heater system and you get a better score. And for the moment, it's just a tag. It's just a category that your home is assigned. So your home is category A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. But in the future, in the near future, maybe taxes on your house will be based on that score. This is something that is already happening in cars, for example. Cars now have categories, category E, category B, C. It depends on the country, okay? It depends on the region, but all the Western countries have implemented this system, and also in some East countries. Your car has a category depending on how many emissions, CO2 emissions, does it provide released to the environment. So depending on that, you pay higher taxes or lower taxes. You have higher fees when you are parking in a parking lot, in a public parking lot. It depends also if you can drive in specific roads or not. So this is already happening, and environmental impact score will cover everything in your life in the near future. Why? Because all the powers that control the world, all the national institutions, large governments of large countries, and also supranational institutions like the UNO and all institutions and lobby systems are convinced that they have to prioritize the environment. So environmental score is going to gain a lot of relevance in the next years, in the next months, in fact. Also, and this is related to the digitalization of the world, there will be also a citizen scoring system. What is that? You are being scored in many topics, as I said before. In finance, you are scored. Your risk, your financial risk is being scored, but there will be much more data available from you on the internet, coming from social networks. So why not putting a scoring system associated to other aspects of you as a citizen? Why cannot we create a score depending on if you are consuming a lot of public services or not, healthcare, education, etc., etc., if you are traveling too much or not, if you are working too much time or not, if you are even consuming entertainment. Entertainment is going to be one of the top priorities for large corporations in the next decade. So why cannot allocate or assign a score for your level of entertainment engagement? We can say that how much entertainment do you consume? In fact, and this is what you can see in the third box, China already has implemented a social credit system. What does it mean? It means that everything is connected. You know, China is not a democracy. Chinese government can do whatever he wants. It's a dictatorship. So they have linked the financial system in China is public, is semi-public, but ultimately it's dominated, it's controlled by the government. So they have linked the financial system and the social system, the criminal records, the financial score system, and everything is connected. So when you do something positive according to the system, according to the government, you gain, you earn points, and you may have more access to credit, for example. And on the opposite, if you do something wrong, they can increase, for example, your mortgage interest, for example. And this is something that is happening already in China. You know, China also implemented this year the e-yuan, so it's the electronic yuan, the official currency of China is now a cryptocurrency, so they can do whatever they want with the currency because everything is stored in a blockchain database, and they could even link how much money you have or how much money you can use at specific point depending on your social credit score. So if you, for example, if you don't pay a tax, for example, they can get it directly from your bank, or they can block your credit card until you pay the tax. They can do everything because everything is connected. Data, digital data is governing everything in Chinese life now. And they are more advanced in this direction because, as I said before, they are not a democracy. They don't need to put everything in consensus to move forward, but for sure we will experience something similar in the future in Europe and in the US, in America, in any part of the world, because it's an opportunity that the huge amount of data available about us today on the networks, on the internet, allows that. So why wouldn't any person with enough power to do that? Let's see about it in the next months and year. Let's analyze now what can we associate with games. So what is gamification in terms of rewards? So why would we enter in a game? We can enter in a game because somebody, the government or whatever, a company, wants us to enter the game. So if you don't enter the game, you are not a customer, or you are punished, or you are put into jail. It can be as critical as that, but you can be forced to play a game. But normally you enter a game because you feel attracted to enter a game. This is something appealing. Classical rewards to enter a game. So to post about your favorite restaurant on Instagram, or to give a positive recommendation on Amazon, or whatever, or to buy a specific amount of a product in a shop or in a supermarket. These classical rewards normally work well. So a dinner for two, a weekend to play golf, an airline ticket, or even an upgrade. Even you can win a car, you can win a TV, you can win a smartphone. It's normally it's more frequent in TV shows, in TV contests, this kind of games. But in reality, in real life, it could work as well, and it works as well. Okay, so in Walmart, you can buy, you can win a new car, for example, in a contest. But let me move to another kind, more sophisticated kind of incentives that you can get in a game. So maybe you can get status incentives. That's membership in an exclusive organization, or you can get, for example, the priority pass card with some accesses to VIP lunch in airports for free with a specific bank account or whatever. So this is something that gives you status. Maybe you can be eligible for a fast track patent application. So it's very, very specific, you can see, but it works. So if you enter the game, if you comply with some specific rules and you do something, or maybe even if you pay and then you submit using the online form only and not by post mail, if you play the rules, you can get a fast track access for filing your patent, or you can get a membership in a country club, or you can get an upgrade of your next driverless car or whatever, or any other appliance that you may buy for home or anything, any other product. These are status incentives. And additional, one step further is privilege incentives. So privilege incentives could be eligibility for insider auctions. So you get or insider or advanced in advanced purchase of theater tickets, for example. So if you play the games, if you become if you achieve a specific category, then you are eligible for purchasing being able to purchase the tickets before the rest of the world, or you can you can be considered for special volunteering activities that you may want to experience, or you could have access to a special emergency service if you are a VIP member of a company, or even in a country, if you play the rules. So if you get a specific category, and then you have some privileges, or one get out of jail free card. So it's the exaggerated way of privilege incentives. In the future, everything could be possible, and maybe in less developed countries where you can get out of jail paying a certain amount, you could have this as a free gift by playing the game set by this government. Then the next step is what I call obscure incentives. Obscure incentives is something more dangerous, and it could be possible in the future. So when we achieve total gamification, when we have gaming for everything in our life, there could be some incentives associated with playing the game of a specific government, or a specific association, or a specific company. So, for example, the right to fly abroad. Okay, you are now experiencing something similar today. So you have the COVID vaccines, and many countries have set up a number of boosters that you must have to be able to fly abroad. And it's a game. And why it's a game? Because depending on what country you are obliged to have a booster, or you are not obliged to have a vaccine at all. Okay, so any government can set this kind of rules in the future, not only for the vaccine, but also for complying with some specific requirements. So if you have this kind of university degree, you can travel to this country, or if you don't have, you can only travel to fly to these other countries. The right to be on social media. We have also experienced relevant people being pushed away from social media, and Twitter is now on top of the table with the recent purchase from Elon Musk. And you can remember that Twitter has banned a lot of relevant people, even the official USPTO, the POTUS, the President of the United States account. It's a public account, so in the government of Donald Trump, he was banned. So a public account controlled by a public institution was banned, and it was done privately by a private company. So private corporations, large corporations, will be able to set up rules for playing their games if you want to be there. And social media are a very important point where we will play games, because it's part is an essential part of our daily lives now, and it could be obscure incentives to be banned in social media. Another obscure incentives is the right to keep your money in your bank account. That is not a joke. Let me explain this very clearly. Money will become a digital asset in the next years. Money will become a blockchain in a matter of less than 5 years, maybe, or for sure less than 10 years. Okay, so everything will be a blockchain, a cryptocurrency. The US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the euro, the Singapore dollar, the all currencies, all major currencies in the world will become an electronic version, a cryptocurrency in a time less than 10 years. So what does it mean? It means that each piece of currency, so each dollar, each euro that you have is completely monitorized in the blockchain network. So the government or the central bank, the Fed or whatever institution can set specific attributes, specific conditions for using that money. So if you are, for example, if you are unemployed, you cannot buy a new car. For example, that could be done by the government. They could decide that if you are being subsidized by the government because you are not, you don't have a job, during that period you cannot buy a car. And you go to the bank and you can use your money normally, but when you try to go to a car dealer and try to purchase a car, then your card is cancelled. The transaction is cancelled. And the same if you try to do a transfer from your bank account. Why? Because your money is completely monitored by the owner of the money. By the way, if you didn't know, all the money belongs to the central banks, not you, not me, not the people. All the money belongs to the central bank. If the central bank decides tomorrow that the US dollar is worth zero, has no value, your money has no value, and it's decided because the owner is the central bank. And this is going to happen also in the gamification scenario. So you may have the right to keep your money in your bank account or not, depending on a specific game set by the central banks or your bank or the government or any other conditions or organizations around you. And one thing that is very, very dangerous is they could have an incentive based on the right not to be obliterated from society. If you are obliterated from society, is the same than being killed. Okay, so you cannot be completely 100% apart from society. But with the new technologies, if they cancel your social media, if they cancel your money, if they cancel everything, every asset that you have, and everything is connected to the digital world, and they cancel that digital connection, they will cancel you from being alive in society. Okay, so we have to be careful about this total gamification, because we are entering in a society where everything is digital, and data, as I say here, why everything is going to be converted into a game? Why gamification? Why total gamification? Well, the reason is because we have a world with everything becoming digital. So all the physical reality is being copied, is being cloned in a digital world. And if you haven't seen my video about digital twins, please watch it to understand how the physical reality can be converted to digital and what is the implication of this cloning of the physical world into the digital space. But there are many other ideas because why the elites and the governments and large organizations want to convert everything into a game. One reason is very simple. People like them. It likes games, so there won't be any demonstrations. There won't be unions pushing against this kind of games. So it's not logical. So people like games, and let everyone be free to decide if they play a game or not. But if the game is the rule, people will be forced to play the game. If not, if they don't want to be out. Another interesting point, and this is a bit more obscure, is that games are addictive. So the governance of society, of customers, of citizens, whatever, will be easier. So if you make people behave like if they are playing a game, it will be easier to say, hey, from now on there is a new rule consisting on this, and nobody is going to complain and to say, okay, why this rule, why not? They are playing a game, so they are expecting challenges, they are expecting the unexpected. So it's easier to govern, to manage a society or a customer base or whatever if they are playing a game. And there are some other technological reasons why gamification is going to be fostered and spreading out in the next years. Complex algorithms and artificial intelligence help in keeping the game of life exciting and challenging throughout time. What does it mean? It means that people get bored of games if they are repetitive. Okay, so if you are always playing the game the same way, the same challenges, the same visual impacts, the same conditions, the same rewards, etc., you get bored. And if you get bored, you are tempted to abandon the game. And this can be solved easily with artificial intelligence and the algorithms when you are in the digital space. Okay, so this is another point towards gamification, because you can convince the people to do something in different ways by changing the rules of the game slightly, and you still have the control. So you don't need to use too much imagination. You don't need to risk too much. You simply change the game, make it more adaptive to the customer behavior or the citizen behavior, and then people get motivated again. And also the metaverse. The metaverse, I haven't yet made a special video about the metaverse, but I will. I promise I will. In the next weeks, I will speak about the metaverse, because the metaverse is going to change everything. The metaverse will make us spend many hours of our day in virtual worlds. By virtual worlds, I don't mean putting a glass, a virtual Oculus Quest or whatever gadget, and playing in a virtual space, playing games. No, virtual worlds can be also mixed reality, where you are watching information about the physical items around you. You will enter a supermarket, you will see the price specific to you, not to the other person besides you, these kind of things. And everything will become virtual. Everything will become customized to you, digitalized for you, and this makes games much easier to implement. Okay, everything is digital. When you enter the supermarket, the items, the sales, the promotions, the prices, everything will be digitalized and personalized for you. So there can be conditions for proposing you a game. So if you buy this first and then find what is the lowest, you can find what is the best promotion we have on beers. So you go to the stand where beers are, and then you identify that, and then you purchase. If you purchase one, then I give you 10% discounts on fruits, and then you go to fruits. You can experience a lot of games when everything is digitalized around you. And something that is obviously convenient is that games are thought to be harmless. So why not converting everything into games? People like games, corporations, governments, everyone wants games, and games are harmless. At least this is what they say. Games are thought to be harmless until you die. This is a news from this week, and it's the Palmer Luckey is the person in charge of making the Oculus Quest, the Oculus Rift, the previous version. And this person has declared that he has produced a virtual reality headset that kills the user if they die in the game. It's not thought to be real, but the reality is that nobody knows what this person is saying, because it's not clear. It's going to kill the user physically, it's going to kill the user in all the social space, it's going to kill the user or making the user feel so uncomfortable that he or she abandons the game by flashing lights or disturbing noises. We don't know exactly what this person is doing, but don't forget that there are many games, or at least some games, where people die if they lose. So gamificating society is not harmless. Okay, that's one idea that I wanted to share with you today. And this is my presentation for today. I finish with this sentence: Ready Player One is the name of a movie. There are many movies now recently speaking about using games in the social, in the daily life, in the real life. But it's something to reflect. So is it going to be a pleasant future wherein everything is converted into a game? Are you going to feel comfortable when you are playing, even when you don't want to play? Sometimes you don't want to play. Sometimes you just want to read, to relax, to enjoy the moment. And in this kind of world, are we going to have continuous play in our life? What are the consequences of that? Is there to be a central government saying and setting the rules of the game? In the past, it has been so. So The government makes the regulations, so makes the law, and the law are the rules of the game and the social game. Okay, now it's going to be the same, but using the digital technologies and using your digital profile, all the information that you are dumping to the internet every minute, including this video, by the way, and they are going to use that to set up rules and make you enter a game and force you play that game even if you don't want to. And this is going to happen. This is something that you may decide not to play in the short term, but in the long term everyone will have to play. Otherwise you won't be allowed to do anything. You will be set out of society for good. Okay, if you don't want to play the game of paying your electricity bills and having your electricity, your appliances using electricity or gas, or having a car, or these kind of things, going to school, having your money in a bank, you can see it today. So normally society forces you to play a game, to play its game. And once we have a digital world, once we have the metaverse, once we have everything in the digital reality, everything will evolve to much more gamification. And this is the reason why I call this video Total Gamification, when your life is, let me put it again, I think I will have to go back. Okay, I was pressing on the other screen. The first slide of my presentation was this: when your life is a game. Let's reflect and think about this. Please comment in this video. Any comment that you add, even if you are watching this video offline after the live emission, I will receive a notification and I will read it, and I will be glad to answer to any of your comments and to read about your ideas. So let's think about total gamification, when your life is a game. Let's see next Sunday, and in the meantime, beware of the games that you're playing every day, every minute, at home, in the office, outside, in the street. Anytime that you are doing something, think about, are you playing a game or not? See you from the tower next Sunday. Thank you very much for watching this video.